So that's us live and ready to go. Beautiful.
Right, we're rumbling.
We're up and running. Yeah.
Okay, hopefully. How are we going for powers? We got some powers?
Yeah, we're full ball, so we don't know what went on last week. That's still a bit of a mystery to me, but anyhow,
No,
not sure.
we're drawing a bit of power. Depends how much charge you had in that. My phone was flat. It would have been pulling charge out of the lappy, plus it's power in the camera.
Yeah.
But hey,
But we haven't had this before, so we'll have to keep an eye on it.
we could have been hacked by the Chinese.
Chinese, could be ASIO, could be the Chinese, could be
OLG.
Russian spies, could be
the OLG,
could be
TSC.
Fuck, haven't they been sacked yet?
No. My name's Anthony Irvine. I'm a councillor on Temora Shire Council, but everything I say here is my opinion only, and not the view of Temora Shire Council.
And I'm Dean McRae. I've recently redubbed myself Australia's salesman. I've given myself a title. I don't know if you picked up on that in any of the videos I've been doing recently. But
you're selling Australia.
I'm selling Australia. I'm selling Australian values along with everything else I sell. I've come to a lot of realizations over the last couple of weeks, and it should worry some of our political opponents. They won't be real fucking happy. But I'm going to be pushing very, very hard a pro-Australian values narrative, harder than I already was. And I already think there was an element of that was, I guess, unpopular. But I've made a few videos in the last couple of weeks or the last 2 weeks really, and I even set up a TikTok account. And as far as I'm concerned, it's game on. So
it should be. It's getting to crunch time for most Australians to actually get off their freckle and actually make a stand. If you don't push back, they are going to steamroll straight over the top of you, and this is happening across the globe.
Yep.
And you can see that the rallies recently that were great turnout of Aussie people, a big cross section of the Australian community all turned out, and they were all interested in the Australia they know and love. They know that that's being lost.
Oh, it's being stolen, been rolling out. It's being destroyed at a rate of knots. And until some people start to show a little bit of testicular fortitude.
Well, they just need to show a bit of care. I just don't think they value it. I think they're just trashing it.
The she'll be right, mate attitude is fucking us sideways, and I don't see it getting any better until you're and I'll say this, it come across as sexist, but until blokes in Australia lace their boots, grab their nuts, and actually show a bit of start to realise just how much trouble they're in. I think we're just about fucked. So I'm going to be pushing that message, and if I have to again lead with my chin, I'm going to, because
it hasn't even started. ANZ are going to lay off
3,500 workers.
Yes. Now that's the first wave of AI layoffs.
Oh, that's just warming up.
And that's just going to be. You wait and see, because it'll be a bit like interest rates. All the other banks will follow suit.
I think that's highly likely. And they're going to keep sacking people, and they're going to sack more and more people.
Making massive profits, and they're going to keep sacking people.
While destroying lives as rapidly as they
Australian
can.
Populace.
And
writing 40-year mortgages.
Well, and as these people who they sack can no longer afford their homes, they're going to buy them up, and they're going to share them with their corporate mates at BlackRock and all these other shithead companies, Vanguard and State Street, the rest of them.
Well, that's the way to do it, isn't it? Get someone hooked into a 40-year loan that they can barely afford, then sack them.
That's pretty much the game that we're playing.
That's one way to get a house.
That's the game we're playing now, and anybody who's not paying attention to these things, I hope you're paying attention. I'm going to be very vocal about it.
Loan, give them the money, create the money.
It's all on a computer screen. Yes. Put a noose around their neck. Yeah. And then just kick the box out from underneath them and see if they've got what it takes to
See if they can walk,
to get out of it.
levitate.
That's where it's at.
And if they can't levitate, they capitulate.
That's exactly where it's at. So I'm a little concerned. I'm a little bit worried. And we've just got our first comment from a very, very intelligent gentleman I know, Nick Samios. Nick, mate, been a little while. Hope you're well. Because the labour market's not free, AI and offshore workers will replace Aussies.
Now, Nick,
100% correct.
I have to agree 100% with Nick because there's something I wanted to touch on. Julian Shire Council are being lauded because they've brought a group of Filipinos over to work in their aged care home.
Yep.
And they've built a house to house them.
Yes.
Okay. So Australians can't work in that industry because we can't afford to buy a house if we work in that industry. But if they build us a house and import us from overseas, we can.
Yep.
Well, you know what I mean? So what happens when we can't find truck drivers? Do they just build a house and bring a heap of Filipino truck drivers over?
Yep.
And when they can't find car salesmen, they'll just build a house and bring a heap of Filipino car salesmen over.
Absolutely, they will.
That's what's happening. So we're being replaced even by, not by AI, we're being replaced by
a more compliant import. And
even, like, you can't blame the person from the Philippines, but
no, they're just coming over here for an offer. They're getting an offer, and on they come.
Being provided housing, all of a sudden, it's an easier gig, isn't it?
Oh, shit.
You don't have to buy your own house. You can afford to work in those low-paying occupations,
and you can do quite well out of it. Absolutely, you can.
But you can't afford to work in aged care or childcare or as a cleaner or any of your minimum wage type jobs, and then still even presume to own a home within 6 hours drive of the CBD of Sydney or Melbourne.
And you're not going to own it anyway. They're going to steal it from you. And let's not forget that. That's where we're at.
Well,
we're rapidly approaching D-Day. My patience is wearing pretty thin. I know I made a funny video the other day taking the piss out. Look, it was half funny and it was half serious. The Greens are a terrorist organisation. I'll back that up by saying so are the Labor and the Liberal Party. Nationals aren't too far behind, and none of them know that fucking chocolate milk doesn't come from brown cows. This is the situation that we're in. We have, for the last, at least, I'm going to say, look, the last 20 years, because that's where I've been super politically awake and involved and paying attention. Before that, I was a bit more vague, you know, as most, obviously I was in my 20s. I didn't really give a shit. We have elected coward after own gutless wonder, after spineless bitch for the best part of 20 years.
I just think they're all just being bought.
They're all being bought and sold. They're all being.
There should be a share market for politicians.
There is.
See what the going price is.
There is. We just can't see it. We the plebs aren't
what
fucking worthy. We're not allowed to know.
They can bid them up and.
Adam Bant's just taking on some multi-million-dollar job per year running some bullshit organisation. This is where we're at, and we've built an entire public service around these scumbags who will sell you out for a cup of coffee. They've been selling us out for at least, as I said,
public servants.
No, they don't serve the public in any way, shape, or form. That's what they advertise themselves at, and that's what they advertise their jobs at. They're
remotely
corrupt, broken thieves,
yes,
feathering their own nest, and I'm kind of done with them. Look,
back to that point. Everyone's been, and it's been death by 1,000 cuts.
It's the ball.
Back in the day, people used to do shit for themselves. If you wanted to have a footy club, you'd go and you'd find a bit of crown land and you'd mow it and you'd put a few sticks up, and all your mates would turn up and you'd have a game of footy, and that was your footy club.
Yeah.
You know, and then someone said, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice if we had this?" And then the council says, "Oh, we'll provide that. We'll provide that. Oh, we'll help you out. We'll help you this. We'll help you that." And then all of a sudden, now you got to pay us.
Absolutely, and that's what councils, governments, they do the entire time. Yeah. It's worldwide. It's not.
But everyone gets so lazy and so needy, and we are a country
of fucking dependence.
I had a conversation with a fella the other day who has done a hell of a lot of voluntary work for a local sporting organisation.
Yep.
Right? To establish this upgraded equipment that they've got grant money for, and he's done a heap of work in kind.
Yeah.
Right? Now, he runs a coaching business.
Yep.
and he charges X amount an hour to coach some kids in athletics and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Now, the council are turning around and they're going to levy him a fee
Of course they are.
for using the facilities that he built with his volunteer labour.
Well,
Now,
I,
his question, of course, to me is, can I issue them an invoice for all the work in kind I've done to get this facility to the point where they can actually charge?
now they can charge me for my own gear. Yeah.
Do you understand how disgusting that is?
Oh, do I understand? I understand very, very well. And
So this is how they do it by stealth. So everyone puts in their volunteer labour, they get a grant, everyone puts in a heap of volunteer labour, and then they own it, and then they charge you for the use of it.
Yeah. This is where we're at.
Yes, that's how
where we're at. We are owned. We are violated. Here's Mick paid 500K to the ATO last 12 months. You know, it doesn't get more gangster than that. These people are fucking thieves. Now they actually want to tax us. I saw one the other day. This fucking potato in charge, and I know they go, oh, the blue team won't do it. Bullshit. The blue team won't repeal it. He'll bring it in. The blue team will go, oh, well, it's already there. There is nothing so permanent as a temporary government tax, and they want to tax us now on revenues. Don't worry about profits. They want their piece of the pie on the way through the door.
No, they want to tax us on unrealised gains.
They want to do that too,
Yeah.
but they also want to tax us on revenues. They want their piece of the pie. Don't worry about whether you're a profitable business or not. We need our cut because they're overspending fuckwits. And I think, look, Albay got chased out of Ballarat by a tractor. It wasn't hard enough. And if the Nepalese government's anything to go by in their state, we're not going to be too fucking far beyond.
But surely, when you look at Nepal, and it's obviously gone next level, but getting chased out of Ballarat by a bunch of cranky farmers should give you a bit of an indication that you've lost the confidence of the people.
I would say, yeah, if these people had any fucking grip on reality, and they don't. Libs later elected and said he'd screw. Yeah, no, mate, that doesn't surprise me at all, Darren. You know, a really good mate of mine and one of my, personal lawyers, Kyle Katasi was the vice president of the Libs in New South Wales, and he got booted because he wasn't fucking woke enough. He was too conservative for the Conservative Party. You know, Matt Camanzuli booted for being too conservative for the Conservative Party. We don't have a Conservative Party. Now, as a hardcore libertarian, I kind of like when there are two competing sides. I know I'm over in the little third club here going, you're all fucked. But I certainly don't want one side to be completely dominant over the other, or this is the shit we get. This is where we get absolutely wiped out as a populace, and we're basically owned by these.
Well, I've just taken a massive step to the left.
Oh, look, the Liberal Party.
Like the time warp.
The Liberal Party are the left. The Liberal Party are cherry Coke, right? That's what they are. They're a fucking failed flavour. You know, you've got what happened with Jacinta Price all of yesterday. Coming out, said something. Some fucking Indians' feelings were hurt. I don't particularly give a flying fuck if your feelings are hurt. She's right. We've got too much mass migration. Too many of these fuckers are coming over here and jumping straight on welfare. I don't care if you're an Indian or what you are. The only welfare you should be eligible for is a fucking job and a tax break on your, I believe everyone should have an income tax break. You earn it, you fucking keep it. That's welfare. Everything else is no, fuck off, right? You've contributed nothing to the tax pool, the tax theft pot. Therefore, you should be eligible for fucking nothing. Taxpayer funded, not a damn thing.
And we've imported a lot of the social issues or a lot of the behaviours.
We've got children being hacked up with fucking machetes.
Yes, in Melbourne.
Children.
A 15-year-old and a 12-year-old.
We've got fucking shootings in the streets of Sydney. We've got fucking extreme violence breaking out every 15 minutes with some fuckwit on a horse waving a Palestinian flag on Bondi Beach, of all things. And then
back to that.
And then an Aussie kid says to him, geez, mate, you're a bit of a weirdo. This bloke ups him about, showing respect and getting himself educated. Here's some education for you. You want to wave the fucking Palestinian flag or even the Israeli flag or the German flag or the Ukrainian flag. Get on a plane and fuck off over there. I will cop two debates about flags in this country. One of them will be the Australian flag, and I'm happy enough to have a discussion with the Indigenous folks about theirs. Fair play. Everybody else, fuck off. End of story.
that situation in Melbourne, like Jacinta's got a machete bins. There was a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old, and this is hardly rated a mention on mainstream news.
Oh no, they don't want to talk about it.
But there was a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old chased through the streets of a outer Western Melbourne suburb. But we're talking a civilized part of the world.
Allegedly, previously, once upon a time, perhaps.
And murdered in cold blood in the streets of Melbourne with bladed weapons. Now that's inconceivable. We've got.
It's not inconceivable. It's happening a
Well,
lot.
That's what Australia's become. Australia's become a third world country.
We are a third world country. We've imported the third world. Now we're living with the consequences of it, and it's going to get fucking worse. You know, I've got kids being raised in this particular time, and if we don't get this sorted out sooner rather than later, I'm raising kids in a third world fucking country.
And the government clearly aren't keeping us safe.
The government can't keep you safe. The government will never keep you safe. They're actively endangering everybody because they're corrupt, paid off fuckwits.
The Northern Territory government have just introduced a 12-month trial
of pepper spray,
of capsicum spray. Yes, so they've admitted that
our shit's dangerous.
The civilian population need to arm themselves.
Of course they do.
Here's something we'll give you. It's non-lethal,
which is disappointing.
But this is going to slow them down. The next step, of course, is to introduce castle law, because the government have to acknowledge that they're not keeping us safe. And people, like, there's no way known that you could live out in those suburbs in Melbourne and feel safe at night.
There's an aspect of our population that detests the police. Detest all police, makes no difference. Then there's another aspect of the population who think that the police are going to keep them safe forever and ever and ever, and they're just immaculate. And they're not. When you've got kids chasing kids through a street with machetes, there isn't fucking Constable Plod who just happens to be on the corner waiting for these things to unfold. His job, unfortunately, in real time, real world shit, is he gets to show up, look at the mess, be traumatized by the mess, write a fucking report about the mess, and then go, please don't do that again. And quite often now, currently, if they do arrest the perpetrator, they feed them into some fuckwit judge who then goes, oh yeah, but because he's Indigenous or because he's got a different culture or because he's from Islam, we've got to let them go. They've got different beliefs to ours, and you know it'd be really racist of us to lock this fucker up.
Well,
and Britain's laid the paved the way the last decade with their rape gangs and this fucking bullshit, and now we're going down the exact same path where you can't lock up a criminal because of the color of their skin. Get fucked. I don't care what the color of your skin is. You hack up a child with a machete, you deserve prison for life at the very fucking least.
That'd be a start.
That'd be the start. That's the warm-up spot. You know, when you've got African families coming out who are seemingly nice people, I don't know what they're into behind the scenes, but they come on the TV and they go, we're shit scared. We're taking our kids back to Africa. Sudan's less dangerous than fucking Melbourne. And we've got this fucking idiot bimbo coming out with treaties that we never asked for. We actually outright voted that shit down. The Australian public said, no, Jacinta, no, Alba, no, you fucking dickheads. And you know what they did? They went, you peasants don't know what you really want. You don't know what you really mean, so we're going to do it anyway. And there's not a fucking thing you can do about it. We're in a lot of trouble.
Well,
we're in a fucking lot of trouble.
It's evidenced in the news. You pick up the paper, it's evidence there. We don't have to talk about it here. It's evidenced everywhere.
Yeah, well, the only problem is we have to talk about it in this way, shape, form. This is why I've been making a few videos this week, is because you know what? I turn on the mainstream media and I see a 2-minute blurb about kids got hacked with machetes. Very, very sad. Here are some machete bins.
But they haven't arrested.
They've done fucking nothing.
The perpetrators.
No, and they won't. They will avoid that because that will be deemed racist. And because that's what they fucking want. I have no doubt. I'm not saying our police want. I'm not saying individual politicians want. I'm saying that the powers that be in this country, which I have no faith is outright Australian anymore, they want this shit. They want to import as much of this as humanly possible and be fucked Australian culture. And while ever Australian men are so emasculated and weak and fucking gutless and afraid that, oh, but if I say that, you know, the fucking bloke that was jizzing in the children's fucking food at the daycare centre, a couple of the dads were very concerned but didn't want to be seen as homophobic. Fuck off. If I think you are a danger to a fucking child, I'm going to say it. I'm going to call you on it. And then you can we'll deal with the outcome. And if that makes me a homophobe, because apparently I'm a bit concerned about that person around a child, you can get fucked. If you're racist because you turn around and say that a black guy used a machete to hack up a child, if that makes you a racist for saying it or saying they should be in jail, you can get fucked on that one too. The gloves are off with this stuff. We're in a disgusting state of a country, mate. We're in a lot of bloody trouble.
And there's never been more government.
Never been more government to keep us safe.
But let's measure this Melbourne, this Cobblebank thing where you've got 2 kids that have been chased through the streets and hacked up.
Yep.
And murdered in cold blood. And they haven't got the perpetrators.
That'll thing.
And there's very little press coverage. You compare that to what's happening, say, in Paul Punker, where, 2 police officers have been shot in a botched attempted arrest, execution of a warrant. And for all intents and purposes, you can only say it was botched because they did a risk assessment. And
2 people died. So it was certainly a failed risk assessment.
And another person's been shot. They've had injuries.
Yeah.
And the perpetrator's still at large, but it's getting daily. It's had.
Oh, it's on repeat, cycle. But it's not so much about what happened, other than this crazy free person, this horrible sovereign citizen, this guy who lived off the grid.
The incident down in Cobblebank in Melbourne with the kids. I don't think it would have had 1% of the coverage that this
other incident has. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
So that's media bias, and it's also part of the performance of the media as according to the narrative that the expectations of what they can and can't report.
The media over the last 48 hours, I thought you pricks were about as low as it gets. But they keep excelling. They keep going better. Now, I woke up this morning, first thing I saw was the Charlie Kirk news.
Yes.
Now, for most people who are watching this will know who Charlie Kirk is. He is a bloke who died today. It was assassinated today. It was murdered today. Now, he wasn't a politician. Held no official title. Didn't make any laws, not a judge, this is a guy whose career was based on going to universities and having debates. Debating people who disagreed with him, and he's been assassinated for it. Now, he's a big Trump fan. Heaven forbid we can't have that. The bright side is Utah's one of them places that has the needle. Now, I oppose the government inflicting the death penalty because they're hopeless, but if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. That's sort of the mood I'm in today. We'll preface it by saying I still oppose the government having the right to issue the death penalty, but I can certainly understand the desire for it. Charlie Kirk, this fella, 31 years old, wife who seemingly liked him, 2 young children, and the audacity of standing up for what he believed in. Heavily Christian dude. Now, I'm an atheist. I've made that pretty clear. But from what I can tell, this guy has lived a pretty good life. He has lived the values that he espouses on, publicly, stood by, and he did play a big part in Donald Trump getting re-elected, and they fucking shot him. Dead set in the neck at a university in Utah. And I don't think you're on Twitter, or X as they call it now. I've never seen so much disgusting behavior over a person who died. Again, not a political leader, didn't go around, not Pol Pot, wasn't throwing people in, wasn't Joseph Stalin murdering and starving people. This guy had the audacity to go and discuss ideas that you may not have agreed with in a public setting. And they killed him for it. It's fucking disgusting. And these lunatics
aren't the right wing the dangerous people.
Well, my
according to the left, the right wing are the dangerous people.
My sympathy's done for these pricks.
They had a shot at Donald during the election campaign. Now they've shot one of his.
Here's what they are. They're petulant fucking children not getting their own way.
One of his.
Yep. It's fucking disgusting. And if you go on Twitter Twitter's the one where I've noticed it the most. These fucking lunatics are getting on there with their fucking half-shaved heads, half whatever's, all this fucking bullshit, and they're actually cheering, dancing. These women on there's a fucking lot of women on there who are this fucking. I hope they never get married and have children because they're scum. They are. They're celebrating the murder of somebody they disagreed with, so they can get fucked too. So my sympathy for it's absolutely disgusting, and I've been sitting there stewing on it all fucking day because I can't punch these people in the head.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. You've got multiple. One woman got on there and went, "Oh, I wonder if the shooter's single. I'd marry him today or give him other favors." It's like, the fuck is wrong with you? These people are sick, disgusting, and they're off their heads. And you know what? I don't care what their kinks are. Don't care what their quirks are. Don't care if you're fucking transgendered monkey. If you're celebrating the death of a guy, literally, who has no power as a lawmaker, has murdered nobody, has hurt not a fucking person. He's hurt their fucking feelings. You want to murder everybody who's fucking hurts your feelings? Yeah. It's disgusting. And Charlie's
the sickness that's and they feel like they're entitled to think that.
Oh no, they think they should be praised for thinking that. This is the sort of bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, this is where society's currently at. And it's happening here.
Yeah.
We saw it on the first thing that was on Sunrise or Channel 7. One of them this morning was far right. The guy's a Christian bloke who, and again, I'm an atheist. I'm not defending the faith. I couldn't give a fuck, really. Married to a woman who seemingly likes him. 2 beautiful children who love their dad, has been murdered, and the first thing that the media wants to roll out is they're far right and he's a pro-gun advocate. The MSNBC wankers in America, one of their stations over there, the fuckwit on the TV there, and again, this is my first 10 minutes out of bed this morning, so I got out of bed and I'm fucking on fire. This fuckwit goes, oh, well, maybe it's, some of the things that he says, and this is what happens, and this is how it should be. This is what you've got to expect. No, if you can fucking disagree with somebody without expecting to be shot, sort of a world are we living in? And then they go, oh, well, maybe it was one of his gun-loving supporters celebrating and shooting guns into the air. Listen, fuckwit, you do a hell of a lot more shooting than I do, but it's very hard to fire a gun into the air and hit somebody in the neck 200 meters away. Get fucked. You people are disgusting. Just disgusting. And anybody who's cheering that on, get fucked. There you go. I know a few people get annoyed that I swear too much, but based on everything going on currently in the world, I've got no punches to pull, and I've been accused of not being statesmanlike enough in my political career. Well, let me tell you, that's not going to be changing anytime soon, regardless of whether I make another run and decide I'm going to take Albo's job because he's a spastic.
That's not a bad comment.
The theme online is assassination is karma. That's sick, fellas. Good vibes, Terrence, mate. Yeah, it's sick. I can't say I'm lost for words because I've got far too many words, and it's just wrong. And this is what we're bringing our kids up into this sort of environment. It's fucked.
Here's a topic that we've touched on a few times, but this is something that's just come out yesterday. Australia, legal cigarettes plunge, black market thrives. Now, legal cigarette sales in Australia have dropped 22% in the past year, according to data published yesterday, September 3rd. Oh, no, so it's a few days old, from the Australian Bureau of Statistics. The Treasury expects tobacco excise collections to fall to 7.1 billion this year, down 57% from the 2019-20 peak. It's almost reverse psychology if they're jacking the they've jacked the cigarette excise to the point where they've created a black market, so they're encouraging crime and they're not reducing smoking rates and they're losing revenue. So they'll have to raise that revenue from elsewhere.
Well, they've got to steal it from elsewhere, yes.
And they've also got to
raising revenue.
They've also got to spend.
Thieves.
Well, they've also got to spend more money doing the enforcement. It's like, how many uppercuts can you give yourself before you knock yourself out? Because they're just absolutely going to town on their own chin.
Not hard enough.
Oh,
Not hard enough. I
Rob
don't.
and Freddie could see that if you tack something to the moon, people will find alternatives.
Yes, and gangsters will find ways to make money, and you know what? Good on them, because at least those gangsters are participating in at least a half a free market. You can at least choose which illegal cigarette supplier you pay your exorbitant amounts of money to for the bad habit.
People are voting, and I still don't think there's probably been an increase in smoking rates due to access to cheaper cigarettes.
Well, quite possibly.
They're saying a 22% decline in legal tobacco use, but there's probably been a equal and opposite increase.
$90 a carton, cash only on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, mate, and why not? What
do you do?
If you're addicted to the substance, and believe me, I'm talking from experience here. I smoked cigarettes for 40 years.
Yeah.
I was a bit partial to them. And I tell you what, if they weren't so bad for your health, I'd probably be still smoking today.
Yeah, right.
But I had to make a decision because, I just
because you took on counsel, which is far worse for your health.
I had the conversation with myself, and the conversation went something like this. In my experience, one person out of 1,000 probably gets away with smoking all their life and doesn't suffer serious adverse health effects.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to sort of put on a bit of a Clint Eastwood sort of approach to it. Are you feeling lucky, punk?
Yep.
Are you that 1 in 1,000? And looking at all the other luck that I've experienced during my life, and I've had great luck.
Yeah, well, you get to hang out with me every Thursday night. Life doesn't get any better than that. Let me tell you.
1 in 1,000 lucky. And then the alternative, of course, is if you get it wrong. Then the alternative is you spend the last 10 years of your life dragging an oxygen bottle around with you, and you can't get from your lounge chair to the clothesline to take your washing off the line without stopping 3 times to get a puff of oxygen out of your bottle.
Yeah.
Doesn't turn me on. Or they start chopping your toes off because you lose circulation, or. So, look, seriously, I just had to look at the situation and go, you know what? I'm just going to have to treat these cigarettes like a bad girlfriend. Fun to hang out with, but really not going to be a good long-term proposition.
Not a good bet. Yeah, right.
So, but I know how addictive they are, and I know just how. I remember reading something that David Bowie said. He said he gave up heroin, and he said giving up cigarettes was harder.
Yeah, right. I've never done it either, so I'm pretty fortunate in that space.
I can only talk about one, but I know that. But look, giving up anything's easy once you make your mind up, because it's mind over matter.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt, but once you make your mind up, it's easy.
Yeah.
Because then you can put up with the hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've mentally put yourself in the spot to do the job.
But I really do sympathise with all these poor bastards who are getting absolutely robbed.
For having the audacity to use a legal product as consenting adults.
But some of these people are paying $15,000 additional tax a year out of a $80,000 a year pay packet.
Well, they've got to. Who else is going to pay for machete bins in Victoria?
Well, who else is going to pay for bloody elbows, cars to get away from the tractors?
Because my mate David Lionel, that was in Parliament, actually did a video that I shared last time I saw one of those sort of statistics come up, and he did a video where he'd done the maths. And he's very, very good at maths, David, far better at maths than I. And he did a video. Thank you, smokers. The amount you contribute to the health system far outweighs how much tax you're paying relative to what's going in there to pay for their their drain on the health system. Smokers far outweigh what goes in as to what comes out. And again, not a smoker, but you're a consenting adult using effectively a legal product.
Is it legal?
And even if it's an illegal product, I don't really care. You're a consenting fucking adult. And I'm done with the whole country's been infantilized to the stage where we're not brave enough to do anything without some fuckwit at a government organisation's permission. Maybe I should have put a warning at the start of this. Tonight's show will have explicit language because I'm just on fire.
But back in the day,
so cranky.
People used to get busted for smoking pot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now you got the proliferation of all your methamphetamine and really strong drugs. And I'm 100%, and I haven't asked a policeman, but I'm sure average New South Wales copper would much prefer to arrest someone who's stoned on,
marijuana than some ice done off their fucking rocker.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure it'd be a much more simpler process just to say, get the paddy wagon and just say you got your chips or.
Yeah. Well, heard he owns a concreting business in the area. He's saying 70 at Carlton in T-Town itself. And our good mate of the show, Andrew Thaler's just said, "Love your honesty, Anthony." Which, if he wasn't so honest, Andrew, I wouldn't be bothering sitting here with him every week trying to make sure he's got a platform once he was banned from all life.
I'm not cut out for politics, though.
Oh, fuck, you reckon you're not? Jesus Christ.
Andrew, it's terrific to have Andrew on board tonight, and we've got to wish him all the best in the Kiama
by-election this weekend. So if anybody is down in that Kiama electorate, Andrew Thaler certainly has a thumbs up from me.
To quote Molly Meldrum, do yourselves a favour.
Yep.
And consider the independent, because the Labor Party, you've only got to look at what the Labor Party's been doing.
They are raping and pillaging at unprecedented rates.
And the only hope you've got is independence.
Yeah,
and that's across the board.
There is a Libertarian candidate down there. I don't know him personally, so I'm not going to outright give the Libertarian candidate a vote. But as far as if you are looking for a party, they still, as a rule, get my number one vote. Currently, Pauline's getting number two, and then I'll work my way through the shit from there if I'm looking at it from that perspective. Now, we've also got people who follow me on social media, probably you on social media in the show. There is a percentage of the population, I'll have to address it at some point. I'll probably do a 2-minute video because more people are inclined to watch 2 minutes than fucking 2 hours. There's an element of people who get on my feed, go, well, this is all bullshit and the Constitution says, and it's an invalid government anyway. Now, there's merit to that argument. Here's the problem you face when you put that argument to me for trying to put good people into Parliament, or anybody else for that matter. 26 million people disagree with you, even though you're possibly right. Now, the fact that they disagree with you means you're kind of fucked. You can bang on about how it's not constitutional, and it's not a real thing, and that they're all corrupt, and you're probably right, and there's elements of that shit. Every 4 years, every 4 years we have council elections, we have state elections, we have federal elections.
But
the reality is,
until you've got your own multiple police forces and a defence force,
to some degree, you have to acknowledge that it exists. It may exist under some dubious history, but guess what? The whole world's built on dubious history. History is written by the winners, and those fuckers currently are carrying all the cards. So for the people who are putting out that argument, I hear you, but currently the weapons we have is to try and get good people into these positions. Other than an outright overthrow, we're not in Nepal yet, sadly. And I'll make no bones about it. What's going on in Nepal at the moment, I'm pretty happy to see them burning down politicians' houses. I did hear a lady died, which is horrible, because I'm not a fucking left-wing lunatic who thinks people should die, but there's been a little bit of tarring and feathering of a few politicians.
Surely it's got to send a message.
A few of these corrupt politicians have, I believe, got a bit of a touch-up and been chased out of town, to be fair, and they've set fire to their parliament. They've set fire to politicians' actual houses, which violates their property rights a little bit, but these politicians have been violating their people first. And while as much as I adhere to the no harm principle, no harm unless you're harmed first. I don't advocate for anyone to be a victim. So do no harm, take no shit is my thing there. You're absolutely allowed to defend yourself. And from what I understand, the catalyst in Nepal for this, and I know France is on fire as well. They're fucked over there as well. Good on the people for, grabbing these things by the balls. That's what needs to happen.
They only do it when
shut
they're
down.
pushed to that point.
They have to be pushed.
How hard?
I don't want to be this cranky.
But even to see Albo getting chased out of Ballarat is indication that we're not at the Nepal stage yet, but people are starting to push back.
But the catalyst, the final trick that set them off was the Nepalese government shut down all forms of social media,
Yes.
all forms of outside. You will listen to our government's communications, and that is it.
Yeah.
And the people went, fuck you, we're done.
Mm.
Now, Australia's thinking about a lot of this shit right now.
Oh.
Our commie fuckwits are doing the same thing. Oh, we're going to bring in the commissar. Now, that silly bitch needs to be deported. Pack her up.
The idea
We're going to bring in all this facial
can't
recognition.
have social.
And that's all about facial recognition. They can watch porn, but they can't watch YouTube. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Right? It's as bad as during COVID when they shut down all the gyms.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to go to the gyms. You couldn't go to a physio. You couldn't go to a naturopath. You weren't allowed to go for a run.
Mm.
But McDonald's was open. You could go down to the bottle shop, grab all the beer and cigarettes you like. I like a beer.
I think you could get a bet on too on most.
Yeah, you could still do all that. You could do all those things, but don't you fucking go to a gym. Don't you go to a gym? And somehow our population is still dumb enough to think these people have our best interests at heart. They don't. They do not. Absolutely, they are destroying us. And let me tell you, with kids coming up in this particular period of time, I'm crankier than ever because I need this to be sorted before I'm too old to do anything about it.
Yes. No, you're correct. Okay.
Bedroom taxes, for fuck's sake. Thanks, Andrew. You just fired me up again. Fuck.
Now, well, that's where it's at, isn't it?
That's where it's at.
How dare you have a house?
How dare you have a house?
How dare you buy a 4-bedroom house and raise a family and then the kids move out?
And you want to stay living there because it's your home.
Hmm.
Do you understand that we are a communist government and we expect you to move in fucking 50 of the immigrants we've just fucking flown in who don't have houses because we don't give a fuck and you don't need all those bedrooms? Can you imagine my auntie Di who's just built a four-bedroom house? Hinchcliffe Homes have done an excellent job. There's a little plug for a business that's done a great job. Plus the tradies from Mickey Mouse place looks great. What's going to happen? She's got a 4-bedroom house down there so that the kids can come and the grandkids can come and whatever first new home she's ever bought with her own money. What, Albo and fucking Susan Lay going to rock up with the Indian bus? Beep, beep, fuck, beep, beep, here we go. Hi, Di, how you going? I'm your friendly neighbourhood local politician. These 50 Indian people who, we've just imported don't have anywhere to live. We know you've got some spare bedrooms. They're going to be living with you now. And she's going to be looking there going, and people are going to go, oh, yeah, bullshit. That'll never happen. It's going to fucking happen very, very close to that. Very close to that, because that's the fucking debacle that communism brings, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we're at, or certainly where we're heading 100 miles an hour.
Now, we've got the local rag. And I've just done a quick tally. Now we've got a new journalist, and I haven't met the lad.
All right, okay. The term journalist scares me.
Well, Thomas Gosling flew the coop.
Thomas flew the coop. The goose got gandered. The Gosling goosed.
So apparently we've got a new journalist called Noel Fisher.
Noel Fisher. Where's Noel from? What do you know about Noel?
Oh, I don't know a thing about Noel.
All right, well, Noel, you've got a clean slate until you fucking annoy me, and then I'm going to give you grief. Yeah. There, how's that? Fair?
Oh, well, he's got the front page article.
Yeah. But what's in the Temora Bugle? Well, I don't buy it for obvious reasons. I refuse to give dickheads my money if I can avoid it.
Nothing overly controversial. However, we've got, and Andrew will be aware of this, Mayor's welcome the code of practice. Now, we've got a new code of meeting practice. We're still waiting for the code of conduct at council level.
Oh, yes.
Now, key changes to the model code of meeting practice include preventing councils from holding private councillor briefing sessions to discuss matters that should be considered in the public domain at committee and council meetings unless they are confidential. So, I agree with that. Now, Coolum Shire Council, they have their private briefings before the council meeting. So they basically go in there, they have all the robust discussion, and then they come out and they just basically rubber stamp everything in a very quiet and dignified way in the council meeting, and no one actually knows what anyone thinks. And no discussions are had publicly. And
because if people know what you think or what you've argued for or against, you may be held accountable by people who know you, who might go, "Oh, that's bullshit."
Now, Councillor Furman, who's chair of the Country Mayors Association.
What isn't he the chairman of? I'm waiting to get a letter to say he's in charge of my self-managed super fund. Is he the chairman of that yet?
Well, he said that expectations of the New South Wales government and country mayors are not going to align perfectly.
I don't want to be held accountable for this shit. Don't make me do this publicly.
Many Country Mayors Association members were not happy that private briefing sessions have been banned. Well, boopy fucking hell.
Yeah, I can give a fuck whether you're upset about it.
While acknowledging the minister's focus on transparency, it was a
We want our secrets to remain secrets.
Listen to this. It was a widespread view that councillors are not experts in all areas and should be able to receive briefings off the record and in private where appropriate. So an informed decision-making process can occur, he said. Well,
you can do that still on camera. Rick,
That's
let me
exactly
tell
right.
you, if somebody's an expert and wants to come sit here, Charlie Kirk was a good at it. You'd sit here and you'd go, this is my view on the following topic. And the guy might go, right, well, I'm an expert in, I don't know, trucks turning corners down near railway lines. I've got 50 years of experience in this. And we can still do this on camera. And I can go, right, okay, so where is the problem? Why does that happen that way? And he'll go, this, and this. And I go, well, I still think you're being a dickhead and we're going to go the other way. And I look like a fuckwit, but that would be my fault.
What it basically means is the debate is removed from the public.
Yes.
And that's the important part, because the public need to see who's talking the sense and who's talking the rubbishes.
Yes, and who's in their best interest versus who's perhaps, I don't know.
Who's talking smack and who's talking
that's
stuff,
right.
and that's what it's all about. So these private briefings where everyone gets indoctrinated or schooled, I'm glad they're going.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Expanding the powers of the mayor to remove councillors from meetings for acts of disorder. Now, that to me is fair, but what happens when the mayor acts out of
disorderly? Yeah.
Now, we've seen, and I've played you, multiple instances of the mayor being a bully.
I did. There was one there where what would you say? Be very careful, Mr. Irvine, Councillor Irvine.
Speaking over the top of me and not giving me, according to
meeting rules,
code of meeting practice, the current code of meeting practice, not giving me my 5 minutes to debate a matter.
Yes.
So I've gone away, worked out my situation, and had to learn that.
Well, that's what you have to do. Yes, if you're going to fight in this arena, there's a couple of ways to do it.
There's nothing that I can find. What happens when a mayor acts out of order? I raised a point of order, and the mayor refused to hear it. He spoke over the top of me and refused to hear it. Now that's against the code of meeting practice.
Yeah.
What's my recourse?
I can think of a couple, but they're probably
What's the mayor going to kick me out for being right?
He'll ring his mate, the communist mayor from the Labor Party, and he'll go, Bestie.
Expanding the powers of the mayor.
How do we tax them more?
Expanding the powers of the mayor to remove members of the public if they disrupt council meetings. Now, that'll be fairly subjective, I'm tipping.
I think it'll be very subjective, extremely subjective.
How dare those peasants come to the meetings when we're talking about their lives?
Yes, we are the special ones. We are anointed.
Now, requiring information considered at closed meetings to be made public after it ceases to be confidential. Now, I agree with that. That's going to hurt, because any council that's built on secrecy and opacity is going to struggle with this new code.
Yeah, good.
Because it's all about transparency and accountability.
Oh, I want to see them all struggle.
So, look, requiring council and committee meetings to be live streamed.
Have they figured that out yet? Or do I have to go down there and show them how to do this shit? It's not hard.
Councillor Furman says mandatory live streaming of council meetings is an interesting new requirement for council meetings. Oh, it's interesting.
It's interesting. Oh, very interesting. Yes.
It's not new for some, but for others, like Tamora, it represents some capital outlay.
No, it doesn't. I told you, I'll set you up. I'll even pay for it. I won't interfere. I'll give you the account. I'll fucking sponsor it.
I'll hire them at a nominal rate.
I'll do it as a community service. Fucking expenditure bullshit.
And some chamber tweaking. They're going to tweak their chamber.
They're going to tweak the chamber. What did that camera cost you? What did we work out, about $400?
It was very, very expensive.
Yeah.
I had to take out several loans.
This laptop's, I don't know, $800 from, I would have bought it from my mate Marsh, but he doesn't fucking sell computers most of the time.
I don't know. It's at the current cost of codes of conduct. What have we spent? Temora Shire Council spent $78,000 to date on codes of conduct.
That's just this year, isn't it?
No. That's been reported in the last 2 years.
Right.
So that's what's been reported officially.
Yeah.
So $78,000 on codes of conduct, or $400 on a camera to improve transparency.
Yeah. Very, very difficult. And I've already offered $70 a month. I'll cover this for you. If we have to up it to the $120 platform, so you can have 10 people all on screen together singing Kumbaya, we can do that too. I'll figure it out.
Look, a new minimum dress standard is in line with this. I applaud the Minister for pushing in that direction. Such formal protocols engender improved respect. So the Mayor owns a suit shop. He's pushing for.
He wants everybody to be in a suit.
So what is Ron getting 10% through the back door saying that everyone's got to wear a suit? But if I've got to wear a suit to council, I'm going to go down to Vinnie's and I'm going to buy some 1970 safari suit. And I'm telling you, because what are they? It's not about what you're wearing. It's about what you're saying. It's about what you're doing.
What you're contributing. And
yes. Now, if I come from work because I've got to work for a living.
Yes. And you don't own a suit shop? Did Mummy and Daddy buy you a suit shop at some point?
I don't wear a suit to work. I wear sensible clothes for the role that I'm doing at work.
Well, that's
now, today, I was welding. I'm not going to weld in a suit.
Why not?
Well, because it'll get all holes in it.
But that's okay. Then you can go down to the menswear store in town and buy another one. Yes,
I had to do my welding suit and then no. So
fuck.
We're not getting paid enough to be able to take a day off work to preen and primp and pose prior to attending a meeting.
Come on, you can call past the car yard. I'll brush your hair for you. I'll tighten you up.
No, clean and tidy. That'll do. Donkeys.
Looks like Coolum Council have changed the format to open the meetings to listen to them. Now I'll have to go to the meetings to listen to them firsthand. And you know what? Look, Irv's obviously far more in line with local council shit. And I'm probably far more tuned into what's going on globally and federally and whatever. But absolutely take an interest in go and sit in those fucking meetings and hold these bastards to account. You can't. Next rant, right? The people who are sitting there hoping and praying that the Liberal Party will save them or the National Party will save us from this fucking bullshit are the same people that they bang on about that are the silent majority. Well, while ever the silent majority is staying silent, we're getting Trudy's pushed through after you've all voted no because you haven't been fucking loud enough. You haven't been brave enough. You haven't been willing to put the gloves on publicly because you're afraid somebody's going to call you fucking names. That's sadly, the Liberal Nationals are not going to save you. They've already proven how fucking useless, spineless and ineffective they are. They've pushed Jacinta Price to the background, who, to be fair, is probably one of the shining lights floating around. That's not a huge compliment. I mean, I met Jacinta a couple of times. I quite like her. But she hasn't got a lot of competition in there for being a shining light. Let's be fucking realistic. The silent majority is who I actually am holding responsible. And I'm holding myself responsible because I've been too quiet. I've copped too much of this on the chin. I haven't led anywhere near from the front as much as I should have. So all this bullshit, the whole lot of it is my fault. I'm taking ownership for it. Because if I take ownership for it, I'm hoping a few other blokes might go, yeah, you know what? I haven't done my bit either. And they'll step up because at the moment we can't keep going the way we're going. Yeah. You know, if we don't have these people step up, this silent majority bullshit is going to be a fantasy and a delusion. It already is because we're getting our asses kicked. I don't know if you've noticed, but the whole country is just about fucked. And we've got this sort of bullshit going. So if you've got an opportunity to be in a council meeting, get in there. And if you've got a heckle.
No, you can't. You'll get thrown out.
Well, yeah.
But you can certainly make comment after the meeting.
You can voice your opinion. You can share what's going on. Nude meetings has been suggested. That'll save the ratepayers money. Tez, I like it. Andrew owns a 1980 safari suit. That does not surprise me.
Now,
where is chemical
following up from Fred, yes, he's correct. It looks as though they're putting an audio only up at Coolum and they're putting it up after the fact. No, they're going to have to live stream. This is the new rule. And if they're not doing it by the 1st of January, they've got to do it after the 1st of January.
Yeah, right.
So I'd just say everyone is going to be videoed and audio. It's going to be live streamed like this.
Yep.
Right now, we have not got a safety net.
There's no editing. Yes.
This is right now live, no editing.
Absolutely.
Everything's coming at you. So
Absolutely.
there's some ridiculousness in this new code of meeting practice, and there isn't enough recourse, obviously, for if you're in a hostile council with a bully who's a mayor who's a bully, and a weak-gutted bunch of other councillors that haven't got any backbone,
yep,
and they allow the mayor to carry on like a pork chop. What hope does a sensible person have in that scenario? I haven't seen anything in the code of meeting practice that addresses that.
Yeah.
Now, there's plenty of councils in Australia that have got mayors that are bullies.
I actually spoke to a mayor in another council today, who is on a council in Victoria.
Yes.
There's 3 Labor councillors.
Yep.
On council down there. 4 independents. 2 of the independents seem to lean happily with Labor. They're just not official members. And she's actually the mayor down there. And she just said she's going through fucking hell at the moment. Because like all these things, it doesn't matter necessarily whether you're the mayor or not. If you're outgunned in those rooms, you're outnumbered, you're outgunned. They're horrible rooms to be in.
Yeah, but the thing is, in those situations, and this is the difference between some councils, in that particular council, that individual, I imagine, would have been democratically elected or popularly elected by the people.
I suspect that particular mayor was elected by the council, but there is a lot of councils that do have them elected by the people.
If you are elected by the council, you'd imagine if you're not ticking the boxes, they'd punch you and get one that they wanted.
You have a feeling that that's how it would be, yes, but it is interesting how political alliances can shift. Politics is a very dirty game.
Oh, you're telling me.
Very dirty game.
I have two.
But it is interesting to see.
It doesn't matter how many showers you have, you can't get clean.
No, fuck.
It's unlike a hard day's work where you can come home from a hard day's work and you can be grubby. You can be soiled. You can have oil and all sorts of. You could be cleaning drains out. You can have poop on you. But you can have a shower and you come out clean. But sometimes when you go into
politics, if you're full of shit, chances are you're still full of shit.
Clean.
Yes.
Once you get dirty, you can't get clean. It doesn't matter how much you could scrub yourself with a pumice stone until you're down to the bone, and you can't get clean. Once you're dirty, you can't get clean.
Yeah. So I've never really succeeded directly in politics, so I can't lower myself to allow them to dirty me.
I don't think the code of meeting practice deals with dysfunctional councils where you've got nepotistic mayor and gutless bunch of cronies.
Yeah.
And that's probably where the shortfall is. And you need to have some recourse there for someone who's actually getting a flogging.
Yeah, look, and it was always going to be put together in I don't know.
And just a new little segment tonight. I've just decided we're going to do
a new segment.
Well, because we know that some people use the platform to their advantage or monopolise good media coverage, and I think our mayor is probably guilty of that, and I think he's well supported by the Temora Independent.
I would suspect so.
I just want to count how many Rick picks.
Oh, it's like Where's Wally? I think we've sort of half done this a few times. So he's on the front cover.
He's on the front cover. So we've got a Rick pick on the front cover. We've got a Rick pick, 2 Rick picks.
2 Rick picks on the first page.
So there's 3. We're at page 2 and we're already above 1 per page. But
it's like my 100 cars in 100 days. Fuck.
Here we are. We're up to page 4.
4 for 4.
4 from 4. We're keeping the average. Oh, we've dropped the ball.
Yes, that's it. Right.
There's a whole page there without a photograph. And another.
Oh, there we're back again.
Oh, we're back.
We're back again. So
we're
it's all right.
Page 7 and we're running at 5.
We're running at 5. Pretty big.
Not bad.
Numbers, and then you're into the Ardlethan Times. I don't know if that counts, does it?
Coolman, surely, I don't know. Dave McCann, the mayor of Coolman's probably got a picture of him in his wallet. Truth be known.
The Pulse has just mentioned, g'day fellas, new code of meeting practice gives mayors even more powers. Like you say, if we get an IMBO mayor, it turns into a circus.
Yes.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of places that already have IMBO mayors. IMBO is short for imbecile. Just to clarify for anybody in the audience, it's fuck.
Now,
The world's broken, ladies and gentlemen.
5 Rick picks this week.
5 Rick picks. We're going to run a tally, are we? We'll see how many's in it next week.
Okay, we'll see now. No, we've got a new journalist, and we'll just see whether they're going to earn their keep.
That'll be very interesting. What's the journalist's name again?
Fisher? Noel?
Noel Fisher.
Noel.
Noel Fisher. You're being watched by the spin doctors. Lucky you.
I think it's Noel Fisher. Noel Fisher.
Thanks. Save me a Google search.
Noel Fisher.
Far out, eh?
Okay, so now, would you believe I
Probably.
ran into someone from another town
Is that allowed?
the other day?
Aren't you like on codes of conduct? You're
And
allowed to
they
talk to people
said
from
that
other
they
towns.
heard a radio interview on Triple M
What did I
that
say
I
now?
did, that
Oh,
I
that you did.
before the last council meeting. And when I say the last council meeting, I mean the August council meeting,
Yep.
where I was putting up the notice of motion about council being a little bit fairer how they go about their parking enforcement.
Yeah, right.
And apparently, and I've actually contacted Triple M and they sent me some of the audio and I'll play it next week.
Yeah, right.
I haven't got it on me now. It's on another device. But it's actually fair and even. And
A fair and even balance. No.
it is.
No.
It is.
I don't believe
And
it.
would you believe the individual?
Nope, I wouldn't believe it.
They said they played that at every news break all day and they actually agreed with me.
Yeah, right.
But in the council meeting, it was me, and there were 8 councillors who didn't agree with me. Now, there was only 8 councillors who couldn't agree with me, or could agree with me. So it was 8v1, me being 1, them being 8.
That's
But
business
it's
as
funny
usual.
that out in the community and out in even in another town, people go, no, that's a fair
That
point.
sounds like a fair, reasonable thing.
And
It's because blokes like yourself live by a pub test still. We go, if you were sitting at a pub with these blokes and they said the following, would they go, you're a dodgy fuckwit? Or would they go, yeah, that sounds fair. That sounds fair enough. And you're more even-handed than what I am. Like, and I just sit there and I go, but you're operating on a pub test. These other people are operating on a, we need to control this shit and we'll do whatever the hell we like because we're better than you.
And we'll make stupid decisions just so that we stay in the group.
Yes, yes, we must participate.
Like.
It's very scary, isn't it?
Lemming-like.
It's
Lemmingtons.
Lemingtons, it's fucking right.
Very lemming-like.
We were in Canberra the other week.
Yes.
And we ducked into the War Memorial. Right. So I like to, look, I do a bit of veterans advocacy.
Yes.
When I've got time and when it fits, and I love our veterans. I detest our government. What do you want me to, what do you want from me? But one of the walls in there got my attention, and it was a quote from Robert Menzies, who founded the Liberal Party. And I'm fucking certain that he's rolling over in his grave looking at the state of such an incompetent shit show. But on the wall of the museum, we're going to declare war on the communists, and we are going to give them a thrashing, said Australian Prime Minister Robert Menzies on 18th of December 1949. Now, there's a whole wall there talking about the Red Menace and the evils of communism and all this sort of business, and yet here we are with the communist Prime Minister.
And the communists have won.
And the communists have won. And his own party, the fruit of his political loins, is just as bad. And I'm sitting there going, what in the fuck has happened to this country? We are in so much trouble.
Yes.
We are in so much trouble. And, I'm forced to scratch my head and go, what went wrong? Where did we give up? Where did, and again, I'm going to blame it on men. I know the feminazis love to blame shit on men, but I'm going to blame it on men for a different reason. It's not because we're toxic. It's not because we're, what we are. What has happened is the manliness has been knocked out of men to the point that everybody's afraid. Nobody's going to nobody's looking for a feminist in a crisis. Let's be fair. They're looking for a strong, capable man who's going to do jobs. And I'm not, again, that doesn't mean you're gay, you're straight, you're whatever. There's plenty of very competent, able-bodied gay men out there who are very, very, wonderful. But what I'm saying is that as a group, we've just been feminized to the point that men don't know if they're Arthur or fucking Martha on the whole. There are men who think that they're quite brave and competent as long as nobody puts them on the spot or questions them. I have a feeling you're in a room full of them every time you have a council meeting. There's men who hide and they don't stand for anything. They, some of them are making good money. Some of them.
We're surrounded by people who don't agree with something, but they don't want to rock the boat, or they don't want to pay the price. They won't pay the price.
And
I've got to live in this town, so I don't want to say anything. I've got to, you know what I mean? I'm like, by not saying anything, you allow that cancer to exist.
And it's grown to the point now that we're under a communist regime. Now, after the last election, I was actually at a 40th birthday party. Some good folks, I know they watch the show regularly. But there were some people there who I guess I don't socialise with that often, right? Who are all talking about One Nation. Oh, fuck. There's no way Labor will get up. One Nation, they're going to kill it. They're going to be amazing. Coalition will be in. Everything will be good because that's just silent majority again. They got fucking obliterated. I was surprised with a couple of One Nation candidates that didn't do as well as I thought they would do. But overall, there was no chance Albo wasn't going to absolutely shit that in. Because the coalition was so pissed off.
They were pathetic.
They were absolutely pathetic.
They were intentionally pathetic.
Yes, they couldn't be that bad by accident. There's no fucking way. These people are seasoned professional politicians. They can't have been that shit without actively trying. A bit like watching Susan Lay operate at the moment. She is a complete fucking potato. And here we are, where our Conservative Party's probably more left-wing than what the Hawke and Keating government was. They'd be very fucking close to it. And we don't have that alternative. Nobody is brave enough, other than Pauline. And somehow, again, and I'm going to sound like a sexist asshole, but the two strongest Conservative voices in this country at the moment showing any testicular fortitude whatsoever is Pauline and Jacinta. Not Alan fucking Price. Right? And that's, one, it's embarrassing for every bloke in the country. Give yourself a fucking uppercut. We're letting the ladies do the heavy lifting for us. And if we're going to try and save this fucking country, we need far more blokes. So we're going to stand up and go, yep, I'll step into that role. Yes, fuck, I'll take that punch to the face. Yes, I'm going to absolutely say we need less migrants. It was really good to see that march, and we need it again. And again and again, and you need to fly the Australian flag at every opportunity.
I want to ask a question. Do you believe that we've got different issues out here in the country and the regions than they have in the cities?
Look, without a doubt.
Okay, stop right there. Now, in the Mayor's article relative to the Code of Meeting Practice, the Mayor, Rick Furman from Temora Shire Council, says, it must be noted that in rural and remote councils, there are rarely the issues of poor behaviour that have existed in some larger councils. However, we note that the minister can't have separate legislation for rural, remote, regional and metropolitan councils. Well, bullshit, that's his job. Like, how can you have this one size fits all when one size doesn't fit all?
Yes.
That's what we need. We need, the sooner they build a rabbit-proof fence along the Great Dividing Road to keep all the rabbits over that side, and leave us to, have the state of River and a Murray.
Well, and that's when Tim Quilty and Tim Molesworth and a couple of the boys I'm sort of pretty friendly with. They've rolled out their concept of a Rexit, a regional exit.
Yes.
We've already on the Pterodactyl FM. I had the head of the River and Estate project, David Landini. Yeah, so he came on there. We discussed it. The concept's great.
Yes.
For both projects. I mean, they don't, apparently both groups don't get along because it's business as usual. But, the concept is great. And the sooner people realise that, well, I don't know the exact number, but there's X amount of electorates in the city area, Sydney Metro.
We're getting
And there's
dictated
20
to.
electorates out here, and we're getting dictated to by wankers, who again comes down to the terrorist screens
Yes,
video
and
I made the other week.
again,
These are the wankers who think chocolate milk comes from brown cows. They think fucking food comes from Woolworths.
but the thing
And
is, out
they
here,
would starve to death if they got their net zero
out
wet
here,
dream
you can
because they're
go
fucking
and you can have a
incompetent.
meeting with people, and you'll get 100% agreement, and there will not be a single.
Because we're in an echo chamber out here. We're just going, well, they can't be that stupid. They are that stupid.
87% of Australia's population live within 50 k's of the coast.
Yep.
We are that other 13%, but we don't get represented.
No, we don't.
We get dictated to
Yeah.
by a bunch of wankers from the inner city
Yes.
who've got completely different priorities and a completely different idea and a complete lack of understanding of what issues
These are people who honestly believe, and you know, I mentioned it the other day in one of the fucking dozen videos I did, right? These people dead set belief that farmers are the biggest cause of climate change, therefore they need to be stopped. You will starve to death within a fucking week if the farmers stop producing food. You fuckwits. I can't be any nicer about it. I can't be polite about it. You people are fucking morons. You've been miseducated, misinformed, and then they're the ones who always talk about, go and get yourself educated. You'll starve to fucking death if the farmers stop producing food, right? That's not even a maybe. Give you a week. If you hit your net zero targets, you will all starve to fucking death. And I can't pretend that I'm going to feel bad about it because I'll be like, idiot. Right? This stuff is terrifyingly stupid.
Let's leave all that negativity behind us. Throw it out the back door.
No new immigrants in Australia's 10 largest centres, settle them in regional Australia. Or let's just shut the gate for 5 years. I'm going to sit with Ruddock on this one, as in John Ruddock, not Philip Ruddock.
No. Settle them where you've got spare houses.
Which we don't have any spare
okay,
houses.
Well, don't bring
stay fucking home. That's right.
We build some houses.
Absolutely.
Then they can come.
Etheridge Shire Council the same size as Switzerland, 9 million versus 750 people with 200 ratepayers. You know, this is the sort of shit. Like it's just farcical.
Yes.
The whole show's fucked, and we're going to keep importing them in. They want 9 million in Melbourne by 2050. I think I read.
Won't be going to Melbourne.
Melbourne's already a shithole where they're hacking up kids with machetes. Let's bump a whole bunch more. And then obviously we're not breeding them because none of our families are having kids.
Okay. Happy times now. I've had the best week of my life.
Sorry, mate. Yeah.
Last Thursday, I had the pleasure of packing up all of my PA equipment and trundling over to the Cootamundra Arts Centre.
Yep.
Who hosted this terrific bunch of individuals, Matt Arthur and the Lazy Bones, Dave Egan and Sam McNally and Michael Vidal and Chrissy. Now, Chrissy didn't come because she had the flu. So it was only a 4-piece on the night, but the Cooter Art Centre holds 120 people in a lovely, intimate little theatre.
Yep.
And it was, again, terrific fun. Now, I did a PA job for these guys at Temora Town Hall back in March. And after that show, we got along pretty well, and they were really happy with the job I'd done for them, and I had a great time mixing them. They were terrific, and obviously really professional, and great fun to mix. And they said, "Oh, look, we're doing a show in Cooter in September. Would you be interested?" And I said, "Oh, of course I would be." So
yeah.
They're coming back again, maybe in April next year to do maybe a show at Cooter and Temora. So for anyone who's interested, that'd be a great show. So that was Thursday. Get up Friday, travel down to Melbourne, caught up with some of my kids on.
You're brave men going to Melbourne.
Well, yeah, as it appears, because while we were sitting in a Richmond restaurant on the Friday night, there was some terrible shenanigans occurring on the Saturday night out in the burbs. Anyway, so we went and had some terrific Italian food in Richmond on Friday night, and then we, travelled around, did some things in Melbourne on the Saturday. Then we went and saw Paul Kelly at Rod Laver Arena on Saturday night. That was unreal. Rod Laver is a fairly intimate space. It still holds 14,000 people, but it's not like a ANZ where you've got 100,000 in there.
Yeah.
And the audio quality and just the whole show was a bit personal and a little bit
Bit like the feral cats back in the Temora Hotel back in the
Well,
day.
that was always up close and
Up
personal.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, particularly we used to play next to the men's dunnies, and
I remember.
it was like one of them scratch and smell type experiences, depending on how the night was going. But no, it was good. Travelled back up to Echuca on Sunday, caught up with my daughter and the grandkids. Travelled back through the countryside on Monday, and caught up with my mum and dad. So tick, 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 all them boxes. So I had wonderful musical experiences, wonderful family experiences. We had a terrific run, just traffic-wise and travel-wise, and the whole thing was unreal. I got brought back to earth, obviously, had to go to council committee meetings on Tuesday, so it was, a bit of a setback, but the rest of the week's been pretty good. And of course, we've got this beautiful rain.
Yes, I've
last couple
heard
of
a couple
days,
of
and-
farmers are reasonably happy with a bit of the rain landing when it is. What my mate said to me today, any rain in September's good rain, he reckons.
Oh, and it's widespread, and it's
Yeah,
good soaking rain, and it sets them up now for what should be, barring
catastrophe, of course. Yeah.
at least they can look forward to a reasonable harvest, and depending on how the weather gods smile upon them.
Yes.
Yes. There were some pretty extraordinary scenes of a tornado out near Carragable,
I
and-
saw that.
and
yeah.
it was real. And that's the sort of storm. And I don't think it's climate change. We get those storms that come through and they just devastate a strip. That's exactly what it was. Just stripping trees and
Bit
throwing
of weather goes ballistic. Does what
throwing
weather
stuff out
does.
of its way. So that
We
was
haven't had
pretty
an ice age in a
spectacular.
little while, but yes.
That was spectacular, and it's something that you don't usually see. I haven't seen it on a local level ever recorded that well.
Yep.
These guys were driving along beside it and actually showing it, just ripping trees to pieces and
Yeah.
throwing stuff out of the road. So that was spectacular. But we're really set up now for a pretty good end of the year out in the regions, out in the countryside.
Yeah. It's looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good mate Terry here. Good vibes. He runs a show up on the Gold Coast called Den Divine. I think you're still the boss, lord and master out there, eh, Tez? And on Pterodactyl FM, we actually played a full album that the artists up there did and whatever. Saw the recording somewhere. We might show a few of them off at some point. But he's just suggested here at Temora Music Festival in 2026.
And it'd be pretty good. It's a bloody battle out here. One of the comments you always hear is, "Oh, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do." Someone will go and put a big production on,
And nobody will show
and
up.
nobody comes, and they do their ass. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So it's really tough, and I don't know. We're almost at the point where music's being socialised now, or the festival scene certainly is. There's the only festivals going ahead are getting big fat grants off the government.
Pretty much.
That's how sad it is. The only people really going to live music nowadays are older people. The most popular or successful or bankable music festivals are things like the Big Red Bash out at Birdsville and stuff like that, where they get people from sort of like my age group.
Yeah, grey nomads and up.
But they're all sort of probably affluent enough to be able to travel out there, and then
spend a couple of days.
But they're also children of the 80s who remember what live music used to be like and how much fun it was.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part. So
yeah,
I'd love to see a music festival. These country crowds are so difficult, and it's so fickle, and it's so hard to monetize out here in the bush. These guys are doing a great job. They're starting, but I know, Matt, the first show he played in Temora, there were 40 people there.
Yeah.
He would have been hard pressed to cover costs. He's hoping that next time, because the word would have gone around that
it was a good show.
A good show. So hopefully,
yeah.
People turn out.
Travelling musos and locals busking for tips, food and accommodation, and sell their merch. Makes sense. That's always the trick.
That'd be the ideal.
Yeah.
This place, just for a bit of info, is far from bohemian.
Yes.
It's hyper conservative. and
Well,
it's always had little fits and starts, but it hasn't got a strong band culture. It hasn't got a strong performing arts culture. It's very much a sports-based culture.
yeah.
And it's always been a bit of a hard road to hoe for the
Artistic types.
yeah. So I'd love to see that change, but
Well, you're a bit of an arty muso type cat for
yes,
sure.
but even to the point that I know just how difficult it is even to get some sensibility out of council budgeted $50,000 to get a mobile stage built.
Hang on, now
You
told me we're going down the happy road
They
now, and then you
entrusted that
start
project
this.
to their ex-general manager, Mr. Gary Lavelle, who went to a horse float manufacturer in Queensland who'd never built a mobile stage before.
Well, he's
from what
probably
I
built a
can
few
gather.
horse floats for Mr. Lavelle's stables.
We don't
potentially.
know. Mr. Lavelle was involved in the horse sport, so I don't know whether there was some connection there.
No,
I
never.
don't know. Anyway, unfortunately, there was a lot of mechanical malfunctions with this stage. There was a lot of toing and froing, a lot of coming and going, and a lot of after the issue maintenance issues.
Yeah.
It appears that they've been overcome now, but the stage is still, for all intents and purposes, still lacking a lot of the ingredients of a really good mobile stage. So that's the sad part about it. You get people who've really got no knowledge, experience, or wherewithal, who tend to have the checkbooks, and you get these second-rate outcomes. But that seems to be council fault.
That's council Australia-wide. That's just fucking the world we live in. Lucky us.
Why on earth would you consult with someone who actually knows what's going on? That
depends on whether that somebody who knows what's going on is in the club or not.
Well,
it's all about being in the club.
Because the whole reason I'm on council at Temora was because I got absolutely
Let's stay positive.
I got absolutely poleaxed because I was given the contract to upgrade the audio and lighting at the Temora Town Hall. But at the 11th hour or the 12th hour almost, I got thrown under a bus. Really, 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 really big bus. But to a lot of people's disappointment, I rolled out the other side and survived.
Well, you
Picked
did,
up,
yes.
Dusted myself off.
What did you do for Father's Day?
Father's Day, I went to Echuca and
that was down there, yeah.
And
so look, we're finding a little happy business.
Look,
I'm a happy guy.
I'm Happy Gilmore, mate. I've got my happy place. I go to my happy place.
I'm
in my happy place now. That's right. We've got all the nastiness out of our systems, and we've just finished off on a nice
little ray of sunshine.
Nice happiness. And yeah, like I say, but that's just a bit of background for people. So often, and the biggest frustration for me is, and they're talking about these briefings at these council meetings and stuff where they have to have a private briefing because councillors aren't across everything. Councillors, on the whole, have got no fucking idea.
And that's not a problem. The general public, and this may confuse the mayor, are quite accepting and understanding that a lot of the councillors have jobs, have other things going on, and that during the course of a meeting, maybe when they're, right, let's go through this, have a bit of a look. Let's see what we think.
They might learn something.
They may just do that, and they may go, well, actually, looking at this looks like a really good idea. What about A, B, or C? Or they may look at it and they go, this looks like a fucking terrible idea. This is everything I stood against when I ran for council. But the biggest, I won't be supporting this.
We've got situations where people will be putting a heavy vehicle route through town and they haven't even got a heavy vehicle license. They've never driven a heavy vehicle.
Some of them can barely drive a fucking small vehicle.
That's exactly right. So these are the issues that we face. So, and they're the biggest problem with a lot of them is that they're too busy they won't shut their mouths and open their minds. They've got closed minds and open mouths. And that's the biggest issue. Once you're in a situation like that, you get really poor decisions. And I've seen multiple examples of really poor decisions. And I mean to the point of being unlawful.
Yeah.
So, and when I say that, and that's a big statement, isn't it? An unlawful decision. But I saw 8 Temora councillors vote to put what would be highly likely to be contaminated soil on a clean site.
Yeah, and we've seen just about every council in Australia. The ones who aren't doing that sort of shit are doing other dumb shit. Whereby
the general population would think that surely if you get 9 people in a room, they're going to make the smart decision.
No, God no.
No, they will make the decision that they've been told to make or they feel that it's politically expedient to make, and that is more often than not the wrong decision, because they've got closed minds and they're being bullied.
Pretty sad.
That's how it is.
I know.
But we can handle it.
We can.
We
We
do on a daily basis.
Yeah, I know I'm in the mood for it.
And we're resilient characters.
We are. Yeah, we really are. I wish Australia needs to catch up the resilience factor
100%.
as well. In other interesting news, a few of the local sports teams did well last week.
Yeah, it was terrific to see the Tamara Kangaroos get the chockies in the
I know you're an AFL man, and they did pretty well there, unexpectedly, from what I understand.
Well, they were underdogs. They hadn't the side that they beat were undefeated.
Yeah.
So that's the old fairy tale, isn't it? Beat the undefeated side.
That's the one. And then
it was terrific. Some of the kids, I coached kids footy for a long time, and it's unreal to see some rewards come to some of these guys that you coached when they were juniors, and just to see them develop into terrific young people and really successful, and just to see them enjoy a bit more success.
I think a few of the soccer teams played grand finals, the kids teams. I think a few of the kids footy teams had grand finals and finals, and the union kids had theirs. I think they got 3 teams into the grand final next week at Hay, of all places.
Oh, that'll be all right.
It's been an interesting little sporting period for a lot of the kids in town, which is good, and the adults in town. So, where that's been.
No, there's some positive stuff.
There's some interesting.
There's also negatives, but look.
Well, I'm staying clear of the negatives this week because there's a grand final next week, and I'm going to just sort of bite my tongue on a few things. The 15th of the month's a big day for a few people around town. Good, bad, indifferent.
But marked on a few calendars.
Marked on a few calendars. So, we'll see how that plays out. But hopefully it plays out as I deem it fit to play out, because I'm a little bit particular about certain things.
No, I've got a pretty good week. I've got a good weekend coming up, and I've got there's a council meeting next Thursday night, so the following week we'll get a bit of a heads up. But there's plenty going on. But yeah, like I say, my life's been full of really positive things this week, and I'm happy as that.
I'm mid-60s in my 100 cars in 100 days, with about I think it's about what's the 18th? The 18th's officially the last day of this little chase. So it's not terrible.
That's pretty good.
It's not a terrible strike. I'm not unhappy.
If you set a very hard target and you get
close.
Well,
the old saying, if you aim for the moon but you only hit a couple of stars, you're probably still going all right. So certainly in the going all right stage there. Pest control's picking up. Phones ringing flat out as everyone gets ready for.
No, I think we're going
summer months. It's going to be
that rain the other day. That just puts a lot of confidence into the area, and people know that there's a high likelihood of a reasonable harvest now. So people will really gear up, and I can just see it being really busy right into Christmas now.
It's going to be pretty hectic, I think, for everybody. A lot going on, so which is
a lot of reward for a lot of effort for a lot of people. So
absolutely,
barring any touch wood.
Look at us doing a little ray of sunshine thing to wind up the program.
Be positive. Look,
I'm a sunny guy.
I've had an absolute stellar week, so
I'm glad.
Even committee day didn't
poke you in the eye at all.
No. Well, and even the ridiculousness in the paper about the code of meeting practice. Like, I'm waiting on the code of conduct to come out. That's the big one, and I'm also waiting on 1,000 code of conduct outcomes, and I'm still waiting on NCAT to make a decision.
Oh yes, still waiting on that. Yeah.
Tomorrow will be 3 weeks since I went to Sydney, so I don't know what 3 weeks means. Obviously it was an easy decision that it'd be out a week later, but
you'd think so.
Anyway.
I imagine they're having the closed door meetings to work out how can we hose this prick over? He's getting everything right.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the biggest problem they've got is unlike most of these situations, I'm going to sign a non-disclosure agreement and get the remainder of the document, what's left after this.
One way or the other, you're getting it.
100%. So that's how it works.
Yeah.
Research in your free time. Nana Music Festival. Nana population 387. Attendees, many campers, caravanners, and funky local. Well, that sounds all right. I will. Thank you very much for the vibes. You have a great night.
Yeah, righto, guys. We're going to wind her up. I think we've touched on a few pros and cons. course, if you like all this stuff, like it. If you've got the balls, please share all these videos. You know, that's I think where it's at now is you've really got to start sharing this and sending the message that, you know, we're kind of done being pushed around. And I don't just mean him or I. I'm talking about as a country. It's time that we sort of
starting
send
to
that
show.
message.
People are starting to, people
It's, you know, if you're not quite brave enough to say it yourself, share the fucker. That's where it's at, guys. Everybody, I hope everyone has a great week. I hope everything sunshine and rainbows as much as possible, but it is time we get pretty serious about some of these issues. And if we don't, well, we better start looking for somewhere else to go and live that's not a communist shit show.
Yes.
Thanks very much, guys. Love your work. Have a great week.